Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with another video. And this is part 8, which is the finale to What If Naruto Was a Generational Genius but He Was Neglected. So we left off at the end of the 5 Kage summit in the last part. And guys, just before we start off with this part, um, for the next What If I'm doing What If Naruto was a full Uzumaki, but this in this one he wouldn't go back to Whirlpool and rebuild it and stuff. And also last in that What If I completely forgot about the Uzumaki's sealing jutsus, and like an idiot I made the mistake of making Naruto use everything except sealing jutsus, pretty much, except like in the war arc, because it was necessary there. But in this one I'm going to put more focus on the sealing jutsu because that's what Uzumakis are known for. So anyways, um, also I would like to know whether you'd like me to cover Naruto's training more in depth, like actually dedicate like a whole episode to it. I mean a whole part, like, which is going to be like about 1.5 hour long, for my future what ifs. So um, tell me whether you'd like that in the comment section down below. And even though we got to 1K subscribers, and the community tab should be open by now, it actually takes like up to a week for it to actually show. So that's why I can't really like set up a poll or something. So yeah, sorry about that. And anyways, comment down whether you'd like me to dedicate part to just Naruto's training in future what ifs. So let's get started with this part. So this part starts off with like a mini arc where let's just say Ebisu gets injured, okay? Because Ebisu's like just a really irrelevant character, and since Konohamaru's trash in Boruto, I want to make Konohamaru strong. So basically, for a week before the war, Naruto actually takes over as sensei for Konohamaru's team, as the 5 Kage actually make their preparations for war. So Naruto tells Konohamaru and his teammates that uh, they are going to face a war in the coming week, and actually let's make it 2 weeks. So the war will start in 2 weeks. So the 5 Kage start making their preparations, and Naruto tells Konohamaru's team that they have to be prepared and they should become a lot stronger in order to protect the village during the war. And this is only possible because Naruto is a Jonin, so he can actually take over as sensei for Konohamaru's team. And Sasuke is also Jonin, so sometimes she would like sit and help him out in the training from time to time. So um, basically Konohamaru got really excited, and even his teammates like kind of knew Naruto, so they also kind of got excited because they knew that Naruto is like the most powerful guy in probably the entire world by now. And not the entire world, like they knew that Naruto was stronger than the Hokage. So they were pretty delighted to be trained by him. I won't be covering, the other two, the teammates training, but Naruto just makes like two shadow clones to train them, and then he in his original body he trains Konohamaru. So basically, um, Konohamaru actually um, tells Naruto that he actually unlocked a second chakra nature, which is wind release. And Naruto's like, oh, that's cool. And then he was like, show me any jutsus that you have learned in wind release. And Konohamaru shows Naruto the Gale Palm. And Konohamaru actually knew the Gale Palm because I think it's like about a C rank jutsu. I'm not so sure, but it's not like that powerful of a jutsu. So Konohamaru was able to learn that, and that's how he knew that he had wind chakra. So Naruto was like, that's nice, but wind is a primarily offensive element, and it cuts through objects, making it an extremely destructive chakra nature. So, pushing off of objects using something like the gale palm is just a secondary purpose to wind. uh, I'll teach you how to make attacks that can actually be very lethal using wind release. And Konamru gets really excited with this, and then Naruto shows Konamru the wind scythe, and there's this huge boulder near their training thing, and then actually, let's make it like a cliffside. That would be cooler. So, Naruto and Konamru are facing the cliffside, and then Konamru's like, Naruto Nichan, are you going to? And Naruto was like, just watch. And then Konamru just watched as he performed the Wind Scythe Jutsu, and he created a massive you know uh, air currents, like what do you call those, like slices in the air kind of thing, that were like traveling to the cliff. And then they literally one of them literally lopped off the edge of the cliff um, from the land. And then and like the other wind slices kept cutting off huge chunks of the land until like enough land to create a small island was actually cut off from the cliff. And Naruto made sure to you know use the flying Raijin to teleport Konohamaru away from the village to do the to show him this. And basically Konohamaru he teleported Konohamaru back. And Konohamaru was like, "Wow, Naruto Nichan, teach me that." And then Naruto taught it to him. And then Konohamaru was actually able to slice a tree using it by the end of the training. And Naruto just trains Konohamaru more with wind style and teaches him much more advanced jutsus, like the wind dragon and the wind great breakthrough. And since Konohamaru doesn't have as much chakra as Naruto, and he cannot keep jutsu like the Rasen Shuriken stable, he teaches Konohamaru the wind style Rasengan. And by the way, by this time, Naruto already taught Konohamaru the Rasengan, so he teaches him the wind style version of the Rasengan. And yeah, that's basically just the little training arc. And so let's get back to the actual story. So basically, the five Kage are preparing the forces for war. And all of the decoration stuff happened, like all the bullshit, making everyone wear shinobi headbands, like the headbands that literally said shinobi, and didn't show them as citizens of a certain village. Uh, and I found that part really stupid, by the way. I know it symbolizes unity and all that shit, but then uh, it's such a pointless thing to do, though. Anyways, all of those preparations are made. Rations are stopped, and the smaller nations are evacuated. And the smaller nations who can offer shinobi for the war are, they ally with the allied shinobi forces. And the ones that don't have shinobi, the feudal lords, are evacuated. The people are sent to a safer place. And then all that stuff happens. And meanwhile, with um, Kabuto and Obito, uh, Obito shows Kabuto the 100,000 Zetsus. I think it was 100,000 if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And Kabuto shows Obito the Edo Tensei. And Obito sees Madara's body, and he gets really scared. And then he makes Kabuto his ally and all that stuff. Um, and I really don't understand what Obito had to lose from making an alliance with Kabuto. I mean, I guess the reanimations could turn on him, but then he had Madara, but whatever. Enough sidetracking. Um, anyways, Kabuto points out that the Zetsus are many in quantity, but you know, their actual fighting skill is very weak. And the main white Zetsu gets offended at this, and he kind of pouts. And then Obito was like, well, we can't really do anything about that now, can we? And Kabuto, he said, well, I have a way to strengthen the Zetsus. And Kabuto actually kidnaps Yamato when he goes on a mission. And basically, Konoha actually has a sent tracker ninja after Yamato, but they only spare like two of them because they need their forces intact for the war. And guys, I'm not sure whether I killed off Kisame yet, but then uh, I'm just gonna say he's alive right now. So sorry about that. But anyways, Kisame actually was sent to capture a Killer Bee after the Akatsuki found out that they escaped. So while all of this preparation for the war was happening, Killer Bee met Kisame, and a similar interaction actually happened as in canon. And yeah, sorry, I didn't kill Kisame off. So yeah, I'm right here. But anyways, um, the same interaction with Kisame and Killer Bee happens, but then it's like way after the Five Kage summit, and actually, Killer Bee is still like on his world trip and all that shit, doing the Enka rap thingy, and then the Raikage actually knows where Killer Bee is because uh, he knows that his passion is like Enka rapping and all that, and he's able to track Killer Bee down. And Killer Bee, since Kisame doesn't have the Samehada in this in at this point, uh, Killer Bee doesn't really have much of a problem with Kisame because Kisame can't really fuse with Samehada and become a shark and increase his fighting capabilities. So Killer Bee straight up killed Kisame, and A retrieved Killer Bee. So yeah, that's the interaction that happened there. And um, and now we get started with the war arc, and the same thing happens where Gaara is made the commander, and the Raikage is made the supreme commander. um Wait, actually, no. Tsunade is made the supreme commander in this one because the only reason the Raikage got made the supreme commander in canon was because his village produced no Akatsuki members, and Danzo wasn't suitable enough because he wasn't trustworthy. But anyways, since Tsunade was more trustworthy, she actually got the position of supreme commander from Mifune. So Tsunade was the one controlling everything behind the scenes and giving out the orders. And in this, what if since Naruto actually told Gaara it's possible to become friends with your tail beast early on, Gaara actually worked on this, and he slowly built up a relationship with Shukaku, and not obviously not that kind because Shukaku's a tail beast, so that'd be weird as fuck. So Gaara actually developed that bond, the friendship with Shukaku, and he actually asked Naruto to remove the seal. And this is all in the past, guys, like a few months prior to the war. And um, Naruto unlocks the seal. He was like, "Are you sure, Gaara?" And Gaara was like, "Yes, I'm absolutely sure. I trust Shukaku now." And Naruto he smiled, and then he released the seal. And to his relief, Shikaku didn't come bursting out uh, of Gara, and Gara actually um, went into his one-tailed cloak, and I'm gonna say that every tail beast has a cloak, because I just like to do. I just like that idea, and this is actually his entire body covered with Shukaku sand and his sealing marks all over his body, and he actually has ears like a tanuki, like Shikaku, and he has the same chakram ability, and he's able to control sand to a much greater degree, like even being able to separate it from water and stuff like that, and uh, can also transfer the sealing jutsus on his body to other opponents to restrain them, and yeah, it's very versatile basically. So anyways, back to the present. So the war starts, and uh, I'm not going to go over how they deal with the zetsus, because the zetsus are fucking dumb and they're literal fodder, and but I'm going to deal with a few of the reanimations. So Naruto, with like knowing that he doesn't have the restriction where he has to limit the amount of clones he makes, so that Kurama doesn't eat up all of his chakra, because Kurama won't do that as he's friends with Naruto in this what if, and also Naruto has much more massive reserves of chakra, so he makes way more clones, like 10 times more clones than he did in the original. Like I think he made 1,000 clones in the original, he makes 10,000 in this one. So there's a lot more immediate help sent to each you know place in the battlefield, and Naruto is able to take care of the reanimations better. And since he was trained by Indra and Ashura, he learned a few sealing jutsus, not that much, but then enough to actually seal the Edo Tensei bodies. So he didn't need to call the sealing corps, he could just seal the bodies himself. And now I'm going to move on to the fight with the past Kage. Gara easily takes care of his father like how he did in the original, and he still gets to talk about how his mother loved him and all that shit. So yeah, and then Naruto, he goes to follow the third Raikage, and these the Tsuchikage and Gara, so Onoki and Gara actually go to find Mu, who's the second Tsuchikage. I know, funny name, but bear with me. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I just call him Mu because that's how his name is pronounced in the anime, but then it sounds hilarious. But anyways, he was a pretty powerful guy anyway. But um, let's just get back to the story. So let's see what Naruto does to the third Raikage. So basically, Naruto does the same thing he does in canon first, and knows that lightning's nature is wind release. Sorry, lightning's weakness is wind release, and he throws a Rasen Shuriken, a wind style Rasen Shuriken at who's it? The third Raikage, and then the Raikage actually dodges this, but Naruto rigs it, and then he actually smashes it into the third Raikage. But the third Raikage actually somehow manages to tank the shot. Naruto was absolutely flabbergasted, because that was the most you know uh, high level winjutsu he created, and Naruto was like, wait a minute, by simple physics, if I reduce the size of the Rasen Shuriken but keep the amount of chakra the same, I'll be able to increase the pressure on his lightning armor. And he actually comes to the same conclusion as Boruto does in the Boruto anime, where he creates a high compression Rasengan, but Naruto creates a high compression wind style Rasen Shuriken, which is OP. Um, he actually does it on the spot because of his incredible chakra control and his massive chakra reserves. and he actually makes the Rasen Shuriken about quarter the size of the original, and he chucks it at the third Raikage, and the third Raikage he didn't hear Naruto's scheming, so he was like, if that huge jutsu didn't defeat me, how will this? But then he was like dead wrong about this, and Naruto's tiny Rasen Shuriken basically went through the third Raikage's heart, and I don't exactly know how he got sealed away in the original Naruto. Like he was basically pulling off a Voldemort, where he was just turning into paper and fading away. But anyways, he Naruto just seals him off, uh, seals the third Raikage off, and goes to help Gaara and Onoki with Mu and Gengetsu, who's the second Tsuchikage, the second Mizukage. So Gaara and Onoki's fight with Mu actually kind of goes the same until Naruto shows up, and when Mu tries to attack Naruto with particle style, Naruto literally uses his Rinnegan to absorb it, and uh, that the second Tsuchikage was absolutely uh, amazed seeing that Naruto has the Rinnegan, and since Naruto has the dust release Keke Tota, I'm going to say that Naruto can copy it with the Sharingan, because I'm not sure what happens when you yourself have a Keke Genkai and then you obtain the Sharingan. Whether you can actually copy Keke Genkai with it, like which are your own Keke Genkai. So, for example, say an ice release user gets a Keke Genkai, sorry, gets a Sharingan. I don't know whether they'll be able to copy the jutsus of other ice users. So, but I'm gonna say that they can. Um, so Naruto actually activates his Sharingan when Mu uses it for a second time, and he sees how it's done, and um, he actually does it. And due to his universal understanding, he knows that it's comprised of earth, wind, and fire, and he actually does the he actually uses the dust release on the second Mizukage, catching him completely off guard and completely atomizing him. And since the papers themselves got destroyed, he actually cannot revive. So yeah, the second Tsuchikage still pulled that fragmentation thing on the last second, uh, and he actually escaped with that. And Naruto used wind release to actually collect all the pieces of paper that were once the second Tsuchikage, and he uh, actually hid them in his Kamui dimension so that no one tries to free Mu, and also Mu cannot reform, and because Naruto can't really like seal all the air basically, because he doesn't have that kind of sealing jutsu. So next, the three and Onoki, Gaara, and Naruto actually go to Gengetsu, who's schooling all the fodder shinobi like how he usually does. And after that, he saw Naruto, Gaara, and Onoki, and he realized that this was going to be you know an interesting fight, and he readies himself, and he does that steam imp jutsu that creates like this huge um, like imp version of himself that's like filled with steam, and outside there's oil and shit, and it expands, blows up, and then forms again and all that stuff. So he was attacking with that, and Naruto, Naruto, he was easily able to take out whatever Gengetsu threw at him, and he actually decided to use a fire jutsu of such a scale that it literally burns away all the oil in the jutsu, and he did the fire style majestic destroyer flame, and he managed to destroy the entire jutsu the steam jutsu that Gengetsu made. And Gengetsu was absolutely shocked, and he actually started clapping at Naruto's jutsu. And Naruto then went and actually sealed him. Like, he placed a few sealing tags on him, and for good measure, Gara, he encased him in his grand sand mausoleum, or whatever that thing is called. That pyramid he makes, and he sealed Gengetsu inside that. And yeah, that takes care of the previous Kage. And at this time, the fragment of Ebisu, sorry, not Ebisu, what the hell, Mu, that got separated from him, actually went to summon Madara. And of course, he summoned him, and Madara was like, "Hmm, I sense a chakra, not dissimilar to my own. Where is this?" And then Mu actually didn't know what he was talking about, and Madara was like, "But no matter, who is it that has dared to reanimate me?" And then Mu switched at Kabuto, and Kabuto told him the whole thing. And then you know Madara and Naruto's clone actually started fighting. And while this was happening, Sasuke and Itachi were both going to get Kabuto to stop the reanimation. And on the way, Itachi actually told Sasuke the plan, to put Kabuto in the Tsukiyomi, and make him release the Genjutsu, to release the reanimation. And so Kabuto doesn't really know the plan now, so he doesn't like prepare to shut off his vision and stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty easy fight for both Sasuke and Itachi. And so they go to Kabuto, and Kabuto just gives us like a huge speech, like, "Oh, Sasuke, you're just like me. You lost your whole clan, and you don't know your place in the world," and all that stuff. And Sasuke just told him to shut up, and Itachi placed Kabuto in the Tsukiyomi and made him undo the reanimation. And then as Madara was fighting Naruto's clone, uh, Madara spirit started to go out of the reanimation. And then Madara, of course, released himself and continued fighting. And Naruto said, "So you know the weakness to the Edo Tensei." And Madara uh, smiled at Naruto's intellect, and because he didn't have to explain anything to Naruto. And Naruto was like, "You're more of a problem than ever before now." And Naruto actually went into his Kurama Wood Golem encased with his Kurama chakra. And he began fighting Madara Susanoo until Madara actually powered up to the perfect Susanoo, when Naruto also encased the Kurama thing inside the perfect Susanoo. And this was easily overpowering Madara's perfect Susanoo. And then meanwhile, Kakashi, who got more control over his Mangekyo Sharingan, actually was fighting with Obito, or as they know him, Madara. And he was basically he decided to see whether his space time. He saw Obito actually coming away the Sage of Six Paths tools, where the 8 and 9 tails chakra were sealed. And he knew that this was also a version of space time ninjutsu, and he wanted to test out whether his version was the same. And he actually threw a kunai at Obito, and Obito actually disappeared. And while the kunai was still like passing through Obito, Kakashi said "Kamui," and kunai actually uh, disappeared, and then Obito had like a huge hole in his shoulder, and he was like, "Damn it!" He figured it out, and Kakashi actually was shocked seeing this because he knew that this man was sharing the same time space as he was with the Kamui, and he was like, "Who are you?" And that man was like, "It doesn't matter." Madara was like, sorry, Obito was like, "It doesn't matter." And Kakashi uh, just said, "Where did you get that Sharingan?" And Obito just said nothing. And now Naruto's clone was actually fighting alongside Kakashi, and Naruto was like, Kakashi Sensei, do the same thing, with the space time ninjutsu. And then Kakashi did this, and then Naruto actually went into the Kamui dimension, and Obito was like, "Alright, I'll just have to stay solid then." And Obito stayed solid, and then Kakashi started fighting with him. And then when Kakashi was about to use a Chidori, sorry, the lightning blade on um, Obito forgot that Naruto was in his Kamui, and he actually went into the Kamui just to be hit by Naruto's flying Raijin seal, and Naruto was just spamming him with flying Raijin and Rasengan, and Obito was getting obliterated. And then, of course, Kakashi came and said, "Naruto, you can leave now." And he Kamui'd Naruto away into the real world, and he started fighting with Obito. And this ended the same way, where Obito got stabbed through the heart, and then he actually um, he escaped, and he became the Ten Tails in Cherokee. Like he sealed the Ten Tails in himself using the six paths phantom coffin seal, and Madara was actually pretty pissed right now, and he actually was like, I don't have any more time to play with you, Naruto." And he basically let Naruto hit him with an attack, and he dispersed into those papers, and he reformed beside Obito. And Obito was like, "Well, you took your time." And Madara was like, "Why did you, revive the Ten Tails without the Nine Tails and Eight Tails power?" And yeah, and Naruto actually, sorry, Obito said that uh, it was already too late to get them, and he decided to just use whatever chakra he has of them, and resurrect the Ten Tails. And Obito started fighting, the entire alliance, and then Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi were on the front lines because they all could use a perfect Susanoo, and they're the only ones who could actually like fight Obito. And since only Senjutsu works on Obito, um, um, Menma actually showed up with Orochimaru and Team Taka, and Jugo went to help Itachi, use the Sage mode, and Menma, since he also knew Snake Sage mode right now, um, he joined the war as well, and he started fighting Jubito. And Naruto looked at Menma and gave him a nod, which Menma actually reciprocated, knowing that if he doesn't fight this war, like anything he does, like anything he wants to do, he wouldn't be able to, because if they lose the war, the world pretty much ends, and Menma doesn't want that. So Menma decides to call a temporary truce with Naruto, and he actually and anyways, they all go into their sage modes. Itachi with Jugo's assistance, and Sasuke actually has Sage Mode because of Orochimaru's mark, and she got Orochimaru's the full power of that mark without Orochimaru's influence. So she's able to use that. And Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi go into their perfect Susanos, and Naruto, builds makes the wood golem Kurama slash Kurama avatar under the Susanoo, and makes that majestic attire Susanoo, and and then they all start fighting Obito. And by the way, if I didn't mention this, Kakashi still has that moment with Obito where he's like, "Oh my God, what happened to you, Obito?" and all that stuff. But then that's not really that important because it doesn't really change any of the fighting. And of course, Naruto goes in manages to latch on to the ten tails, like all the tail beast chakra inside Obito, and he goes into Obito's mindscape, and then he makes him doubt himself, and then he's like, "Obito, we all experience pain and loss. I was abandoned by my parents and my brother, who I cared for even though he didn't care very much for me. He left the village and he became a missing nin. And I was every almost every day of my life. I used to be beaten by the villagers and left in a half dead state. And if it wasn't by the villagers, it was by my parents. And even I lost a girl who I very much cared about to the Akatsuki. Just because you went through a loss by losing the girl you loved, it doesn't mean that you should try to put the entire world into a dream just so that you can see her again. You have to learn to move on from such things and think to yourself, is this what that person really would have wanted me to do? And Obito actually thought about this, and Naruto was like, "So tell me your answer. Do you think that even though Rin died, she would really want you to do this for her?" And Obito actually said no, she wouldn't. And Naruto said, "Would that erase? Would putting yourself in an infinite genjutsu, making yourself believe that Rin is with you, erase any of the guilt you have for any of your actions that you took for her?" And Obito actually put his head down and uh, actually got talk no jutsu'd by Naruto, and he was obliterated by Naruto's talk no jutsu. So he shook Naruto's hand and agreed to, ally with Naruto. So basically, this is how Naruto managed to extract all the tail beasts from Obito, and then and of course, when all the tail beasts reformed Madara, he was um, he was able to absorb all of them, and like before Naruto could do anything, and then uh, and Naruto was suddenly encased in a certain black substance, which was black Zetsu, and then Naruto tried to resist, but Black Zetsu made him walk towards Madara, and Madara extracted the nine tails from Naruto, and Naruto was left in the half dead state, and uh, Sasuke actually um, rescued Naruto, and she and Gaara did the same thing, like in as in canon, except it wasn't Sakura who tried to heal Naruto, it was Sasuke, and she was just desperately trying to heal Naruto, and Minato and Kushina actually came up. And by the way, while all of this was happening, Minato and Kushina were busy on like the other side of the battlefield, and Minato was in Sage mode. So when he couldn't sense Naruto's chakra anymore, he got really worried, and he and Kushina actually came running to Naruto, and uh, and uh, Sasuke was like, "Is there any way to save him? Like, do you both know anything? about trying to counter the effects that happen when, like, counter what happens when a tail beast is extracted from a Jinchuriki. And Kushina said, other than putting the tail beast back, I don't know any way. And Kushina actually, her eyes widened in realization, and she said, "Minato, I have to." And Minato said, "Kushina, are you sure?" And Kushina actually nodded, and she was like, "After everything we have done to him, it's the least we can do." And she actually seals her the all of the nine tails chakra inside her back into Naruto, and she actually dies. And then Minato actually cries holding her body, but then he knows that she did the right thing. And then Naruto actually uh, you know and Obito actually helps seal the um, the two remaining tail beast chakra into Naruto. And these are the one tails and the eight tails. And of course, Naruto already got the other tail beast chakra from his previous battle with Obito. Um, when he was still wearing the white mask and he had the Jinchurikis under his control. So yeah, and Naruto actually opened his eyes, and he saw his father and Sasuke near him, like right next to him, and he saw Obito as well. And he while this was happening, Might Guy was still fighting Madara with his with his eighth gate state. And Itachi knew that he shouldn't interfere because he would die if in the collateral damage from Might Guy's attacks. And then Naruto came out of the Kamui using Obito's help just in time for to save Might Guy from the truth-seeking ball. And then he just kicks it away, and Madara was like really surprised. And then he replaced Might Guy's heart, same as in the original. And he got ready to fight Madara. And he was in the uh, Ninetales, the KCM2 plus the Six Path Sage mode plus his Ultimate Rinnegan mode. And and Madara was absolutely shocked at how much Naruto was holding back uh, in this war. And Naruto knew he had to go all out in order to um, save the world, because Madara was actually the ten-tailed Jinchuriki by this time. And Menma still had his half of the nine tails, because Madara actually Menma actually escaped when he saw what happened to Naruto. And he was basically just hiding his presence. And basically Naruto came back out in six path sage mode. And Hagoromo actually called Sasuke into the mindscape as well, because he saw how much Sasuke had done for Naruto. And he wanted to give her a blessing. And then this ended up with Sasuke actually getting the Rinnegan in both eyes. And her powers would still be the same, but then her chakra would be way more, and she'd be able to turn the Rinnegan on and off. Um, so yeah. And this is just because Hagoromo uh, saw both of his sons in Naruto. And when he saw someone take care of his son so well, he just wanted to reward them. So that's what he did. And Naruto and Sasuke went onto the battlefield. And Sasuke gets the same power up as she does in the original, because Hagoromo only has to give his Yang chakra to Naruto, because Naruto already had the Rinnegan from losing Hanabi, and he couldn't really give any more Yin chakra to Naruto, so he decided to give some to Sasuke and unlock the Rinnegan in her eye. So in her eyes. So basically, Naruto and Sasuke started fighting Madara, and now that Naruto was back, Menma knew that they stood a chance, and he also came back as well. And Itachi joined the fight, since Guy was no longer fighting Madara, and they all pretty much obliterated Madara, and basically Madara uh, knew that this was a fight that he was going to lose, so he had to hurry up and do the Infinite Tsukiyomi. So he switched his tactics to, stop attacking, these people, and conserve as much chakra as possible by dodging and weaving around their attacks. So basically, when it was finally time for the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Madara, before any of them could react, Madara actually flew into the air and casted the Infinite Tsukiyomi, and uh, everyone and Naruto basically saw, you know, these four people saw that all the people getting put under the genjutsu, and Naruto and Sasuke actually basically use their Susanos to shield Itachi and Menma, and basically and Kakashi as well, because Kakashi was there as well. And then after the entire genjutsu was casted, uh, they lifted up their Susanos, and Black Zetsu was pretty impressed by the fact that their Susanos were able to block that light as well. And and then Madara told him that the deed was done, and there is no going back now, and the fight was over. And Zetsu came up to him, and Madara was like, "Ah, my will, Black Zetsu." And basically Zetsu stabbed Madara, and you know by the way, Zetsu already forced Obito to you know uh, to make Madara you know do the Rene rebirth for Madara. So yeah, Obito did that, but then he resisted and he got back control from Black Zetsu. But since he had Black Zetsu still on him, Black Zetsu was forcing Obito to stay alive, and basically Obito, who's encased with Black Zetsu, stabbed Madara, and Madara actually turned into Kaguya, same as in the original. And Naruto was like, ah, it seems she finally came out, the Sage of Six Paths mother. And Sasuke, like the other three, nodded, and Naruto said that this is going to be their hardest fight yet, and they have to be, prepared. And they all, went and attacked Kaguya, and Kaguya still did her thing where she was keeping on switching her dimensions and stuff, and when she went into the gravity dimension, Naruto was actually completely unaffected, because he just removed all of his resistance seals, and his gravity seals, and it felt as though he was still wearing them, but then he's able to withstand that kind of gravity, because he it just felt like how it was with his gravity seals on. And Kage was like, damn you. And then Naruto just went to attack her, and Itachi and Sasuke were actually on the ground, and so was Menma, and Kaguya fired all killing ash bones at Sasuke and Itachi, and basically Kakashi and Obito still got in the way, and Obito took his hit while calming away Kakashi's, and Obito got destroyed. and right before he left, he called out to Naruto and said, I hope you can achieve your dream, Naruto. And Naruto actually shed a small tear for Obito's death, but he knew that this was no place to. This is not the time and place for grieving over it. So basically, he Sasuke and Menma actually went to attack Kaguya, and this was because Itachi was he was almost out of chakra at this point, and he couldn't really stand in this kind of gravity. So then Kaguya just switched dimensions again, and basically this continued until uh, Naruto and Sasuke sealed away Kaguya. And by the way, Sasuke did get the moon seal. Still, this is not whether Naruto got both the sun and moon seals. So yeah, Sasuke still got the moon seal, and Naruto got only the sun seal. So she and Naruto and Sasuke sealed away Kaguya into the moon, and then the tail beast came out same as in the original, and Hagoromo summoned everyone back into Earth, and everyone was pleased about this, and right before Naruto and Sasuke were about to put their hands together and into the rat seal to release the infinite Tsukiyomi, Menma was like, wait. And Naruto was like, what do you want now, Menma? And Menma said, fight me, Naruto. And you know Naruto actually smirked at this, and he said, you want to fight me? And Menma was like, yes, now shut up and fight me. And Naruto, he basically said, why would I want to fight you, Menma? Let's just stop this and go home. And Menma was like, no, I will fight you for the title of Hokage and rule over all the five nations. And Naruto was like, don't get delusional, Menma. And Menma basically was about to punch him, but Naruto just caught his hand and just chucked Menma away, and he landed in the final valley. And Naruto went and followed him there, and the tail beasts were like, Naruto will help you. And Naruto was like, please don't get it involved. I have to teach my brother a lesson. And the tail beasts actually chuckled among themselves because they knew that Naruto could easily beat Menma. But then, since they were friends with Naruto, they just wanted to, help him. And Naruto went there, and Menma, he, was able to control 8 tails worth of Kurama's chakra by now, and he didn't get access to any of the KCM or KCM2 because Kurama didn't really like him since he went on a dark path. So he only got the up to the 8 tails, and Menma actually went into the 8 tails and said, "See my power, Naruto." And Naruto was like, that's not called real control. And Naruto went into his six path sage mode plus Kurama's chakra, and Menma just gritted his teeth, and he was like, my mode is stronger. And he ran up to Naruto and tried to punch him, but Naruto just kicked him, and Menma smashed into a rock. And Naruto was like, that's enough, Menma. Just come back home with me. And Menma was like, not yet. Wood style, wood binding jutsu. And Naruto was about to laugh at the mediocrity of Menma's wood release, and Naruto actually let himself get wrapped up around in it. And Naruto was like, is that all you have, Menma? And Menma was like, see, I can use wood release, Naruto. And Naruto was like, so this is the strongest wood release jutsu you have? And Menma said, yes, of course, it's holding you. And Naruto actually laughed real hard right now, and he just used nothing more than physical strength to break through. And this is when Menma realized he severely underestimated Naruto's power, and Naruto was like, "You want to see what a true wood style looks like?" And Menma was like, he still wanted to keep up his air of superiority, and he was like, "Huh, your wood style will be nothing compared to mine." And Naruto said, "Wood style, 1000 hand cannon or something." I don't remember the English name. One of you commented, thank you for that, but I'll just call it by the Japanese name. And he was like, wood style. He went into the wood sage mode, of course, and he was like, sage art, Shinsu Senju. And then he brought out the 1,000 arm Buddha statue, and uh, Menma was his mouth was like hanging open, and Naruto was like, and basically Menma was so small that he would have enough room to like walk around one of the nails on uh, the pinky finger of each of those hands, and then uh, Menma actually got ready to fight, and Naruto was like, "You still want to fight?" And Menma was like, and he went into the Eight Tails mode, and he tried to, hit Naruto, but then a rain of fists came and hit him, and Menma collapsed on the ground, and when he woke up, Naruto was basically sitting down next to him, and then Menma was like, "Why Naruto? Why is it that no matter what I do, I cannot compare to you in power?" And Naruto said, "Well, that's an easy answer. It's because you're so full of yourself, and you think that everything comes easy to everyone. That everything should come easy to you just because you're a supposed child of prophecy." And by the way, about that prophecy, I found out that I'm the real child of prophecy several a couple of years ago. And Menma, he was like, "What? That's impossible." And Naruto was like, "Menma, who told you you're the child of prophecy?" And Menma said that Minato and Kushina told him, and Naruto was like, "So, you just believe whatever they say?" And Menma was like, "Of course, who told you you're the child of prophecy?" And Naruto, he told Menma about the Toad Sage and of Mount Miyoboku, and about how he changed the Sage of Six Paths and all that. And then Menma was absolutely shocked, and he was like, "But then why would mom and dad tell me that I was a child of prophecy?" And Naruto was like, "I found the answer to that several years ago. It was Danzo's fault. He when we were born, and mom and dad sealed the nine tails inside us. They were severely injured by the nine tails, and they were hospitalized because Danzo feared that Konoha would lose its stability during a crisis situation like this, uh, when its Hokage was in a critical condition, like when both the third and the fourth Hokage were in a critical condition. He decided to accelerate their healing and reduce the trauma from the incident by giving them pills made by Orochimaru. These pills influenced the hatred inside mom and dad, and they made them forget a few things. For example, they forgot about you having the nine tails, and they forgot about what it felt like to be ostracized and be called a demon. And by the way, it was mom who forgot this. And Menma was just listening intently, and Naruto, he said, "This is why mom and dad gradually developed a hatred towards me because of the nine tails, and they gradually started to love you more and more, and they thought that it wouldn't be possible that I would become stronger, and they thought that I was just a weak member of the family, and I should be enslaved to do chores for them and all of that." And Menma actually got really sad hearing Naruto's story, and he was like, "I never knew that you went through so much." And Naruto was like, "Well, If you had been a better brother, you would. And Menma punched his arm, and he was like, how was I supposed to know? Mom and dad forced me to hate you." And uh, Naruto was like, "Wait, they forced you to hate me?" And Menma said, "Don't you remember the times when we used to play together until you were about 4?" And Naruto uh, Naruto's memories were actually kind of gray because he had been suppressing them since he didn't want to remember the traumatic times, his traumatic past, basically. So he couldn't remember like uh, between the ages 1 and 4, because otherwise he had like a perfect memory. Like he would be able to remember everything since he was born. And then yeah, because he's a generational genius, right? So yeah, and then Naruto gradually started to remember, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we used to be such good brothers." And then Menma was like, "Exactly, but then mom and dad used to keep separating us, and they kept telling me not to go near you." And Naruto basically uh, like clenched his fist in anger, and this is not at his parents, but because the anger was directed towards Danzo and Orochimaru. And Naruto was like, uh, "So that's what developed your hatred towards me?" And Menma was like, "Yes, and I only became a rogue ninja to try to become stronger than you, because I believed that since I was a child of prophecy, according to our parents, I was supposed to be way stronger than you. Uh, but the gap in strength between us just kept increasing." And Naruto basically was able to empathize with how Menma was feeling, and he was like, "Why don't we start over, Menma? Why don't we, you know, keep aside everything that happened between us in the past, and act like how real brothers are supposed to act from now on?" And Menma, he was actually shocked at how kind Naruto was to him after, Menma made him suffer so much. And uh, Menma actually took Naruto's hand and got up and gave him a hug. And he was like, "I would like nothing better than that." And basically Naruto used the flying Raijin to teleport Menma back to the battlefield where everyone was waiting. And uh, basically Naruto and Sasuke undid the infinite Tsukiyomi. And uh, basically Minato ran up to Naruto, and he saw Naruto supporting Menma, because Menma got pretty injured by the Buddha slapping jutsu. And then I'm never going to stop calling it that. So basically Menma, he was like, Naruto, Menma is, what's going on with you and Menma? And Naruto, he was like, "Don't worry, Dad. Menma and I made up, and we decided to leave our past in the past, and start and have a fresh start as brothers from today onwards." And Minato's really impressed with Naruto, that he was able to keep all of his hatred aside, and accept Menma as a brother again. And Menma apologized to Minato for everything he had done and all the pain that he had caused him. And he was actually able to see that half of Minato's hair was, graying, and he knew that it wasn't, Minato wouldn't look so old if he wasn't stressed out about, Naruto and him, um, especially him, because he left the village and all that stuff. And he felt really guilty. And basically he was like crying into Minato's arms, and he was like, "Where's mom?" And Minato's face darkened, and he said that Kushina was dead, as she saved Naruto with the last bit of her chakra. And when Naruto heard this, he didn't see Kushina after. Wait, no, scratch that. He knew about Kushina's death. And but anyways, Menma he got really sad, and he felt really guilty knowing that his mom died and he didn't have the chance to apologize to her. And Minato told him that it's okay, as their mother would be watching them from above, you know, indicating like heaven and stuff. And then and she would see that Menma had corrected his mistakes and become good. And Menma felt a bit of comfort at this, and he hugged his father. And basically, they all went back to Konoha. And after this, you know, um, Naruto and Sasuke continue dating. And Itachi was actually attracted to Ino because he actually saved Ino during the war. And uh, and this is just like a random occurrence, but then since Itachi's the goat, I want him to have the baddest girl in all of Naruto, who's Ino. Because if you see Ino during the Naruto wedding arc, the filler arc where Naruto has his wedding and stuff, after Shippuden, and she's like the baddest bitch ever. And but anyways, Itachi gets together with Ino and they start dating. Sakura starts dating Sai, and basically uh, Menma and Hinata start dating, as well as Nagato and Conan. By the way, in the war, Nagato and Conan didn't really participate because, and they participated, but then they weren't in any of the important fights like with Obito or with Madara, because they didn't have Sage mode, so they had nothing that they could do against them. So basically, Nagato and Conan, of course, got together, and then all of them got married on the same day because they just wanted to have like a big festival and a big celebration and all that shit. So, anyways, all that happened, and basically, uh, like, and since Naruto got married earlier, he actually was already married to Sasuke before the events of Naruto the last happened. And basically, uh, Tonari goes after Hinata. And since Menma wasn't powerful enough to go up against someone like Tonari, he actually goes to Naruto and begs for his help against Tonari. And Naruto's like, Menma, you don't have to beg me. We're brothers now. I'll help you. And Menma was thankful, and he asked if he could go with Naruto, and Naruto agreed. And basically, Naruto just told Sasuke that he has some business to take care of, and Sasuke, just nods, and she's like, "Be back soon." And Naruto and Menma went to the moon, and Naruto wiped the shit out of Tonari, wiped the floor with Tonari. And basically he rescued Hinata and Hanabi. As no, Hanabi wasn't there because she's dead, but he rescued Hinata. And he told Toneri that just because uh, um, the Ten Tails was taken from the moon, it doesn't mean that he should take revenge on the Earth. And since they were able to handle the situation, and seal Kaguya again, everything was fine on Earth again. And Toneri apologized, and Naruto's like, "I'm sorry that you know uh, we interfered with yours and your clan's job of protecting the Gedo statue, and will actually give the control of the Gedo statue back to you as a peace offering." And Toneri actually accepted this, and he apologized for his actions. And he told them that he wasn't going to try to interfere with things on Earth again. And or he wasn't going to like attack Earth again. And Naruto basically thanked him, and he accepted his apology. And he and Menma went back with Hinata. And Hinata also grew like a liking towards Naruto, not that kind of liking, but then a friendship kind of thing, because she's able to see how Menma moved past his hatred for Naruto, and since Naruto was a hero of the war and the world would have been destroyed without him, she was also able to keep her hatred aside and start like a new start like newly like have a fresh start with Naruto, and she was like able to become his friend and stuff. So and of course, saving when Naruto saved Hinata from Tonari, this only like strengthened the friendship. So, anyways, they go back to Earth, and stuff goes on as usual until Boruto happens, and then um, so basically a bunch of kids will be born in this generation. So Nagato and Conan finally have their first child, who they name Yahiko. I even did this in my other what if, my first what if, and they name him Yahiko after, in the honor of their deceased friend. And Itachi and Ino actually have Shisui, who Itachi also names after his best friend and his big brother figure. And then Naruto and Sasuke actually have twins who are called Boruto and Tsuki, and basically, uh, it's not Himawari because if you guys didn't realize, Himawari is derived from Hinata's name. Like Hinata means sun and Himawari means sunflower, something like that. But anyways, since Tsuki is related to Sasuke, I like the name is kind of similar. I decided to make it like that, and Boruto is obviously related to Naruto. So yeah, and Tsuki is like Sarada in this, except she doesn't have problems with her Sharingan and chakra control and all that stuff, because you know she didn't get Sakura's useless genes. And you know since she had Naruto's genes, she actually um, had a huge amount of chakra, and she was easily able to use her Sharingan. And basically Boruto had the Rinnegan in one eye and the Tensegan in the other eye, and so the Tensegan, the Jogan in the other eye, and this was like really a huge development. And Boruto would be like super OP. He wouldn't have any like chakra problems. Like people keep saying that he has a small amount of chakra in the Boruto series, but I don't even understand why. But he doesn't have such issues now because Sasuke has a lot of chakra and Naruto has a lot of chakra as well, and Boruto obviously like he's born with massive reserves, and so is Suki, and Suki actually um, unlocks his Rinnegan in one eye and the Sharingan in the other. And this is obviously for the future, guys, by the way. It's not like they're going to unlock it immediately, because they need to get the trauma. So, so um actually Sasuke makes she can use a shadow clone jutsu because she has like a lot more chakra than Sasuke has in the original. And Sasuke can also make shadow clones, but I don't think he'll make them last for that long. But anyways, since you know the threat of Kaguya still exists, Naruto and Sasuke both make a lot of shadow clones to go through the dimensions and find other Otsutsuki traces, and decipher like Otsutsuki scripts and all that stuff, to search for new threats. And Menma and Hinata have a daughter who's named Himawari, and yeah, and this is the same time as Boruto, Boruto's generation. So basically, the teams would be Boruto, Tsuki, and Mitsuki, who Orochimaru still has. And by the way, if I killed off Orochimaru somewhere in the middle, you know how he revives, like, with the curse mark. He just like uses the curse mark from one of his ninjas, and then he just revives in their body. And yeah, so anyways, Orochimaru still has Mitsuki, and Boruto, Tsuki, and Mitsuki are in a team, and Yahiko, Shisui, and Himawari are also in a team. So basically, the Boruto stuff happens same as usual, but since Naruto is not a lazy son of a bitch like he is in Boruto, where he can't figure out that he can use shadow clones to do his paperwork. Um, Wait, crap! Naruto isn't the Hokage here. It's actually Sasuke who becomes the Hokage here because Naruto wasn't really interested in being the Hokage after how he was treated. Even though they all like everyone loved him now and all of that stuff, he just didn't feel like becoming the Hokage, and he just wanted to become a strong ninja who protects the leaf, like kind of like how Sasuke was in the original. And it's actually Sasuke who becomes the Hokage, and this is like a matter of pride for you know all the Uchihas who are there in heaven staring down Earth, and they see that Sasuke actually becomes the first female Hokage, and also sorry, this a female Hokage, and also the first Uchiha Hokage. And Konoha isn't really known for having much female representation, and most animes aren't. But um, Sasuke, makes it through and becomes Hokage. And since Konoha had never had an Uchiha Hokage before, all the Uchihas in heaven are like rejoicing, and Itachi is also really happy for Sasuke. And Sasuke obviously uses shadow clones to do her paperwork, and Naruto spends a lot of time outside the village with the Otsutsuki threats and all that stuff. But he makes it much easier with the shadow clones, and he visits home like really often. Like he visits like every alternate day, and he spends time with Boruto and Tsuki, and he actually trains them because he's not a lazy son of a bitch like he is in the original. Uh, so basically, he manages. So during the Chunin exams, no one needs to use any scientific tools, and Boruto just keeps one in case the situation gets serious. And then Momoshiki's attack still happens, and Momoshiki and Kinshiki. But then like uh, like when Uroshiki was about to escape, Sasuke and Naruto don't allow him, and they tell Itachi and Menma to take care of Kinshiki and Urashiki, and they both hold him off for a little bit before they start getting overpowered. But then Naruto and Sasuke actually get back from killing Urashiki, and Urashiki actually gave Sasuke a karma mark, and they basically are like sorry we took so long, and they take care of Momoshiki and Kinshiki. And Momoshiki still fuses with Kinshiki, but then this literally makes zero difference in how they would fare against people like Naruto and Sasuke. And they both destroy Momoshiki, and Boruto is still given the final shot, and he gets the karma seal. And yeah, and then basically the story still continues until the Kara arc, and then uh, basically everything happens the same way. Like Kawaki is adopted by Naruto and Sasuke, and they both like train him. And by the way, Sasuke isn't a useless housewife like how Hinata is. Sasuke actually does shit. She just makes shadow clones do her housework, and Naruto also sends shadow clones to do the housework. And he spends most of his time with his kids and Sasuke, and they all train. So yeah, they're not useless parents. So basically, um, Kawaki is adopted, and he's trained by Naruto and Sasuke. And then Jigen comes to get Kawaki, but then Naruto and Sasuke are way stronger than they are in the original, and they're actually able to force Jigen to become Ishiki, and then they actually catch Jigen and take him to another dimension. And this is where they start fighting. And this time Tsuki actually got pulled along with them. She's actually holding on to Naruto's leg when Jigen was you know um, basically like she was holding on to Naruto's leg, and then Naruto actually didn't notice her during his fight with Jigen, and like basically after his fight with Jigen, because he was too focused on Jigen, and he actually transported him to the you know um, other dimension, and Tsuki got transported there as well, and Naruto was looking at her in horror, but then you know he just smiled because he gets to give his other child a karma mark as well. And basically they Naruto and Sasuke both handled Ishiki, and like manhandled Ishiki, and then uh, you know Ishiki gave Tsuki the karma mark, and because Naruto gave Tsuki the last shot, and Naruto actually trained using his karma mark, and then he mastered control over it, and he taught Boruto and Tsuki to do the same, and you know and he also, since Kawaki was like 80% Otsutsuki, he also taught Kawaki how to use his Otsutsuki powers and all that stuff. So all of that happens, and the Boruto story just continues. We don't know what happens next in Boruto, but uh, that's how the story happens. So, guys, this was the finale to What If Naruto was a generational genius, but he was neglected. Sorry if it was a bit rushed, but then I really want to start the next What If I'm going to do, and also I have an exam tomorrow, so I have to really prepare for it, and that's also kind of the reason why I didn't post for a little bit. So, sorry about that, guys, and I'm going to take a week off to plan the next series, and this time I'm going to do it properly. Like this one, I didn't really do it that well, but this one I'm going to do it properly, and I'm also going to focus on Fuin Jutsu, because like an idiot, I didn't focus on Fuin Jutsu in the first What If Naruto was a full Uzumaki, but he rebuilt Whirlpool, like that's a series. So in this one he stays in Konoha and he learns Fuin Jutsu. So be ready for it. And if you like this video, give it a like and share it, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down your thoughts about this video, and your what you want as future what ifs on this channel. So thanks for watching, guys.